YouTube, man, we back at it again, bro. You guys know what we love to do on this channel. We love to check out scary TikToks that's gonna make you question reality, TikToks that can make you chills, all that you can find on this channel, bro. So without further ado, man, let's get into this video. What the heck is this? This don't look real, bro. That looks like
I'm in Thailand right now, where
bro.
one of the world's worst suspected serial killers is about to face court. Cyanide, as she's now known, allegedly killed 14 friends and acquaintances over 8 years in 8 different provinces.
All
I
over
want
the
to
damn
ask
world,
her,
bro.
why did she have to do this to my mum?
She grew up here in Kanchanaburi, which is about 3 hours from Bangkok.
Okay.
And 2 of her suspected victims were also from
she's
this
been
province.
all
But it was
over the
here
place,
in
bro.
Ratchaburi province on this very pier where it all came undone for the 36-year-old.
Alright.
In April this year, Anne met up with her friend Koi to release fish at a pier as part of a Buddhist ritual.
Okay.
CCTV shows the pair walking on the pier together, but Anne apparently has to go to the bathroom, so Koi walks to the water's edge alone. When Anne returns, she waves at some bystanders to come and help because a girl has collapsed, but then flees the scene, apparently with Koi's phone, cash and an expensive bag.
Since she died, I felt a great loss. I
just
lost the
killed
one
and
I loved
just
the most
pretended
in
like
my
nothing
life.
happened, bro. She
An
a damn
autopsy later
demon.
revealed Koi had cyanide in her blood. All of the alleged victims had one thing in common.
Which was?
Am got loans from them. Am owed them. When she didn't have money to pay them back,
She just took
started
them
to
out?
kill.
All because
I
she didn't
want her
pay
to be
people back?
executed. Life must be paid off with life.
She,
That
her
will
mom
end
about
it.
to
If Anne Cyanide is found guilty, she could face the death penalty, which is really rare
She
here in
wants to end
Thailand.
it, okay.
But so too are crimes this bad. And if she did what police are alleging, she'd be the country's first and worst ever female serial killer.
This daycare owner shot her husband twice after she found this out. Shantiri Weems and her husband James
What the hell?
owned this daycare called Kids Castle.
think
On
I
July
saw this
2022,
story.
a
I
woman
think I heard about
whose
this
child was
before.
attending Kids Castle approached Shantiri and told her
Okay.
that her daughter was being molested by James. Shantiri lost it, and in that moment, she made her way to a hotel in Washington, D.C. where James was staying
husband, bro?
at and
What
shot
the
him in
hell?
the neck and thigh. Shantiri admits that her intentions were to paralyze James because she was just so angry. Keep in mind, Shantiri loved kids and her job, and she wanted this daycare to be something where kids felt like they were safe. And she said after seeing the pain in this mother's face, she snapped. James had contact with 93 children, and most of them rode on the daycare bus with him, which is where most of the abuse happened. And this story only gets...
This is why, bro, you have to freaking pay attention, man. This stuff going around, bro. What the hell? That's insane, bro.
more disturbing. James was also
Disgusting,
a retired
bro.
Baltimore police officer. But ultimately, Shantiri was sentenced to 4 years in prison, and the judge said that she should have never taken the law into her own hands. James, on the other hand, faces 30 counts of child sexual abuse and assault charges.
That this is a first-degree murder case, wherein the penalties are either
Why
life
NW
without the
ever
possibility
been
of
tuning
parole
into this
or
case?
death. You folks are going to determine this young man's fate. And they come in here and give you alternatives. They come in here and give you their interpretation.
Trying to give him
When
that
we
death
don't have to
penalty.
do a darn thing. This young man has pled not guilty. That means you have to presume him innocent.
Okay, that's true.
That means
Innocent
that
until
presumption
proven
stays
guilty.
with him until and if
Gets proven
Yes.
guilty.
the state of Florida can prove their case beyond and to the exclusion of
We've been hearing
every
people saying like free
reasonable
Melly that
doubt.
he's gonna get out and stuff because they don't have like a lot of evidence against him. That's what I've been hearing. What the hell? What the hell is that walking up to the bars like that? Making that damn noise.
This
Oh,
is the
hell no.
story of the Hello Kitty murder.
Hello
in
Kitty
Yasmin Fresh
murder.
Cut. This is Fan Man Yi. She was abandoned by her family at such a young age.
Okay.
By her mid-teens, she was already involved in crime.
Damn.
During this time, she
Oh,
also
went
got
down the
involved with the
wrong road.
triads. In 1997,
was in a
she started
triad?
going out with one of the guys part of the triads, a man named Chen Man Lok.
Okay.
One night, Fan made the biggest mistake and took his wallet. In 1999, Chan ordered for her to be abducted.
What?
They decided to brutally torture her. For months, they burned her, beat her and made her eat human feces,
Oh my
dying in the
gosh,
process.
bro.
The team dismembered her body and hid her body parts all around the place where they were torturing her.
That is
On May
different,
26,
bro.
2000, a 14-year-old girl went to the police to report that she has been haunted by the ghost of Fawn. She claimed that
Okay.
she was part of the torture, so the police investigated and found Fawn's head in a Hello Kitty doll, giving this case the name the Hello Kitty murder.
Put a damn head in a Hello Kitty. There's some
But
damn monsters, bro.
exploded, and they were both found dead. She must have been
Father Alyssa trying to sacrifice the sons of Jehovah.
I want you to imagine that you are a Lyft driver and you just picked up a father with the name of Jeremiah Campbell and his 2-year-old son. While you are driving them to a home on South Shore Drive in Chicago, you find yourself listening to their weird conversation. Jeremiah boldly states to his son that he needs to mentally prepare himself because he is about to be a sacrifice to Jehovah and will be drowned. From knocking on doors to drowning children. Being that the kid is literally 2 years old, you hear that the kid gives him no response, probably because he's literally 2 years old. Anyways, you drop them off at the location, and that is the last time you ever see them. What would you do? On August 25th of this year, a Lyft driver made a call to police to report a disturbing conversation he heard between a father and son. When they arrived at the home in Chicago, they allegedly saw Jeremiah sitting beside a bathtub with his 2-year-old son face down in the tub. Thank God for that Lyft driver. Because of his call, that little boy did survive. What is crazy for me is Jeremiah was only sentenced to 36 months in prison.
36 months, bro? We tried to freaking drown a newborn, man. Nah, bro.
Disturbing things said by serial killers.
Okay, what the hell?
Earth, would you have hurt those people? Why did you kill those people?
He's smiling. What the
No comments. I cannot answer you at this time.
And that's why you killed them.
Right. Right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them.
They are different,
but
bro.
because I wanted to keep them with me.
Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you did.
I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7
men?
men?
And I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
She's a damn demon, bro. What the hell? Serial killer, damn. Crazy individuals. She said because they kept letting him kill her. What the hell?
Alright.
Oh man, what the hell?
Wait. You don't remember what she looks like?
Wow.
These are some of the scariest last words ever said by serial killers. And I found all these on Reddit. Number 1 is Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, and he ate a lot of people. And his last words were, "I don't care if I live or if I die, so go ahead and kill me." Number 2 is Peter Curtin, aka the Vampire of Dusseldorf. Peter was on death row for killing over 60 people. Finally, we have Eileen Wuornos. Eileen was on death row for killing 7 men between 1989 and 1990. And her last words were, "I'd like to say I'll be sailing with The Rock, and I'll be back on Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th, just like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back." Hearing all this was haunting, but that's why.
Those people crazy, bro. Kill that many people, don't have remorse.
My best friend. She was the first person I talked to every morning, and the last person I talked to before bed.
What happened?
I know she's in heaven, and I can't wait to see her again and just give her a big hug.
Oh man. Didn't get the story behind it, bro.
A case that makes me sick.
Okay, what?
The murder of Kenneth White. These 5 teenagers was throwing rocks from an overpass.
Okay. What?
Eventually, one rock hit the windshield of White's car and hit his face.
Damn, what the That's why you can't play like that, bro. The hell, bro? See how just like a freaking prank turned deadly, bro? So you can't do it, man.
This man took a
happened.
selfie with his mom's decapitated head.
What?
Basim McLean, who was 26.
You seen that, bro? Like, he's a damn it. Bro, you decapitated your own mom, took a picture, and you proud of that?
Years old, dismembered his own mother with a power saw, then took a selfie
bro.
with her head. He then dismembered her and put her into heavy-duty garbage bags, and then he dumped those garbage bags in numerous locations. The first bag contained her arm and leg, the second bag contained her torso and her shoulder, and the last bag contained her head. Tanya Bird's autopsy revealed that she had been stabbed in the neck. During the trial for his mother's death, McLean reportedly claimed that he had voices in his head since he was a kid, and allegedly spent most of his life in different mental facilities. And to make this case even more crazy, McLean's wife killed their son. She beat him to death with a broomstick because he couldn't handle an egg and dropped it accidentally. Which makes this guy even crazier to me. Why in the world would you let your wife beat your kid to death? But this is the same man that murdered and dismembered his mom and then took a selfie with her head. The police went through McLean's phone, and this is when they discovered the photo of him and his mom's decapitated.
And he's smiling too. Look at him, bro. Damn, menace.
Decapitated head. He was sentenced 25 years to life, but 25 years? This to me is immediately death row.
This is why you should always trust your gut instinct. A Reddit user Will called Jake said that he had gotten off a late shift at a hospital and was walking home. This wasn't anything unusual since he had an apartment nearby. There were two ways to reach the apartment, a long roundabout way, or he could cut through an alley about 2 blocks up, which shaved about 15 minutes off of his walk. So Jake was walking home and he was totally beat. He said that he just wanted to crawl into bed. He reached the alley, but as soon as he turned to walk down it, something stopped him in his tracks. He said that his stomach knotted up and this feeling that he can only describe as utter dread came over him. His brain was screaming, "Don't go down the alley." He said that these sorts of things don't usually bug him because he's a pretty big guy, so he's not all that afraid of being jumped or mugged. But something was telling him that he was in mortal danger. So he turned around and just walked the extra 15 minutes home. The next evening, he got into work, and one of the nurses asks him, "Hey, did you see what happened down the street last night?" Jake asked her what happened, as he had not seen or heard anything. He found out that around an hour after he walked past the alley, someone else decided to walk down it. They were robbed and brutally stabbed to death by a mentally deranged homeless man.
In 2022, the town of Slaughter, Louisiana, was shaken by the death of 36-year-old Lacey Fletcher. Lacey suffered from a medical condition known as locked-in syndrome, making her almost completely paralyzed. Due to her medical condition, Lacey spent all of her life at home, as she began to develop some degree of Asperger's syndrome. Lacey's parents were her caretakers, although they neglected that responsibility and treated Lacey inhumanely, leaving her to relieve herself on the same couch that she spent most of her life. Lacey's neighbors stated that the last time they saw her in public was 15 years before this incident. At the time of her death, Lacey weighed 96 pounds and had contracted COVID-19. On January 3rd, 2022, Lacey was found dead in a couch covered in feces and urine. It was believed that she was in that same spot for years without being catered for. Her body was covered in ulcers, her hair matted and filled with maggots. Her parents, Sheila and Clay Fletcher, were charged with second-degree murder and detained for the severe chronic neglect. Despite all of this, they pleaded not guilty and were released on bail. Sheila and Clay Fletcher will begin trial on June 19th, 2023.
I thought I had heard about all the worst human experiments done in therapy, but then I heard about this one. Back in the 1950s, a psychologist named Dr. Cameron was doing brainwashing experiments that were basically torture. Heads up, this is what today's episode is about, and if you don't want spoilers, just listen to the episode. Basically, Dr. Cameron had a theory that you could take out someone's personality and put a different one inside of them. But how do you get someone's personality out of them? Well, first, Dr. Cameron would use 15 times the amount of electroshocks that were recommended at the time. He did this to try to wipe out people's memories. But that didn't work, so he would induce people into comas using hallucinogenics and barbiturates. Then, when people were fully incapacitated, he would play pre-recorded tapes on a loop. And these tapes would say things like, "You're a good mother and people enjoy your company," just over and over and over
man,
again. And you may be thinking, why would anyone sign up for this? Well, a lot of these people were students that were looking to make a few extra bucks by joining a paid study. But when they joined, they would become so incapacitated so quickly that they were unable
couldn't even
to leave.
leave.
This doesn't even begin to cover the full extent of the story, which I do a deep dive on in this week's episode, and I really recommend you check it out.
The Tommy killer tried to unalive over 100 million Americans still get away?
You know that little plastic seal on medicine bottles that is almost impossible to take off? Yeah. Even if they have that little pull part, 9 out of 10 times it never works. The reason why we have that is because back on September 29th, 1982, 7 people bought over-the-counter Tylenol, and when they ingested it, they all collapsed on the ground and died. At first, there wasn't a clear correlation as to what caused all of these mysterious deaths until one of the mourning families, Stanley Janus and his wife Teresa, went back to their now deceased loved one's home to take some Tylenol to cure their headaches caused from crying all day, and shortly after they both passed away. That tragedy led investigators to piece together the truth and potentially saved hundreds of other individuals' lives. When they tested the bottle of medicine, they found 100 to 1,000 times the lethal dose of cyanide.
What? Somebody's putting cyanide on all those Tylenol bottles, bro?
After the incident, 31 million bottles of Tylenol were recalled, and after the incident, several copycat murders followed, thus causing us to now have the safety seal. Oh yeah, and none of these murders were caught.
What?
This is the case of Jennifer Hall, a respiratory therapist who is believed to have killed 9 people in between the years of 2001 and 2002, and she is just now being charged.
Just now being charged?
Jennifer's first job as a respiratory therapist was at Cass Regional Medical Center in Harrisonville, Missouri. On January 24th, 2001, a fire broke out in the respiratory therapy room, and at the time, Jennifer was the only respiratory therapist that was on duty. Jennifer told authorities that when the fire broke out, she went to her truck to grab her soda, and that's when she heard the fire alarm. Her and 2 other employees ran inside the medical center to turn off the oxygen valve so that there wouldn't be an explosion. Authorities quickly became suspicious of Jennifer, thinking that she was the one that started the fire because of burns on her hands, as well as an unusual amount of charred paper near both her desk and where the fire
piecing together the story.
After the fire, they arrested Jennifer and charged her with first-degree arson.
Oh, she tried to set the whole place on fire.
Her attorney kept getting details wrong, and the prosecution took the angle that Jennifer started the fire on purpose to look like a hero, and they backed it up with the fact that Jennifer got her hair done the day before, so that way she would look good when the news.
Oh, they're trying to spin it.
It took the jurors 5 hours to find her guilty of a lesser sentence of second-degree arson, and at the sentencing, her attorney told her to make a false statement saying that she accidentally started the fire when she dropped a cigarette. She was sentenced to 3 years, but after her sentencing, her family hired a different lawyer. He filed an appeal, and while that was processing, she was released on bond. While released in December of 2001, Jennifer was hired by Hedgewood Medical Center, which is where the patients that we'll be talking about died. A couple of months after Jennifer was hired, the number of cardiac arrests skyrocketed compared to the hospital's normal amounts. Between February and May, there were 18 cardiac arrests, and 9 of those patients died. In March, an internal investigation was launched because the staff began to get suspicious of Jennifer, and after only a couple months, the one thing that they saw that was common in all of them was that Jennifer's name was on the patient's records.
So she was taking them out, bro. What the heck? After she just got off this arson, bro?
Was the death of Fern Franco. After her death, an autopsy was done, and they found a high dose of morphine as well as a substance called succinylcholine in her system. Even though neither of those substances were used during her treatment or for her attempted revival. Something else that validated the hospital's suspicion was that a bottle of succinylcholine was found in Jennifer's pocket just after the death of another patient.
So she was injecting them with it, bro.
Succinylcholine is used for a variety of different things, including helping with intubation, facilitating anesthesia during surgical procedures, and helping with mechanical ventilation by relaxing the skeletal muscles. However, when used in larger doses, it stops the patient from breathing by paralyzing the muscles, including the diaphragm for longer, causing the patient
That's how they go into freaking cardiac arrest?
Conscious and aware of what's happening. 3 days after Fern's death, Jennifer was suspended and then later fired, and her attorney has since come out and said that she wasn't fired because of the patient's death, but because the hospital found out about her arson conviction.
No, that's cap,
Upon cleaning out her work locker, a partially used insulin bottle was found, which can also be linked to some of the patient's deaths.
So they got all this evidence?
Jennifer's suspension, the number of cardiac arrests went back to normal frequency. If you're seeing this, then part 2 is already up.
You guys, we might have another Chris Watts situation. This right here is 30-year-old Lauren Cook from Virginia, and these are her 3 kids. They are 2, 5, and 7. She and the kids were last seen on September 5th. Now, on that date, she was actually supposed to appear in the Franklin County Juvenile and Domestic Court, but she didn't show up. So it was rescheduled to the 13th. She didn't go to that one. And then it got rescheduled to September 20th. Her husband, Jordan, showed up, but she didn't. Her family says that the last time they have heard from her was on September 5th. She apparently told them that she was in New York visiting family. So a missing person investigation was launched on September 13th after she failed to show up for that court date. The very next day, on September 14th, investigators confirmed that she and the kids were passing through Litchfield, Illinois. Now, what's incredibly odd about this situation is that her husband, Jordan, claims that she is not missing, that he has been in contact with her and the kids, and that they're just fine, and he's even asking the public to respect the family's privacy. But police haven't been able to ping her cell phone location since September 7th. And also what's interesting is there has been no money movement at all. She hasn't used her debit card, credit cards, bank accounts, nothing. Investigators told him that until they see Lauren and the kids with their own eyes in person, they will remain on the missing persons list. And despite that, nobody has heard from them.
Right now, the search is on for a Virginia mother and her 3 young children, missing for about 2 weeks now. But her husband claims they're fine. 30-year-old Lauren Cook was last seen with her 3 children, ages 2, 5, and 7, at the family's home in Virginia at the end of August. Police say Cook last spoke with her mother around September 5th, with Cook telling her they were in New York visiting family. Remember, no one saw her. They were officially reported missing September 13th after Cook did not attend a rescheduled appearance in Franklin County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. The next day, investigators confirmed Cook and her children were in Illinois. But again, no one had seen them. Her husband need to see them in person, bro. He has talked to Lauren and that the children are doing well and that he wants everyone to respect their family's privacy right now. But the rest of Lauren's family says they cannot get in touch with her. Let's bring in News Nation Law and Justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer, who joins us live from CrimeCon in Orlando, Florida. Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us. I want to talk to you about CrimeCon, but first I want to talk about this case. So the husband here, Lauren's husband, says things are fine. Law enforcement, though, says Cook and her kids will remain on the missing registry because their names are on the missing registry. What do you think's going on here, Jennifer?
Well, I think what's going on is the husband is not being truthful and is not being completely candid. Her cell phone doesn't have usage. There are no bank records.
I think she knows something and he's just like lying.
She's not using her credit cards. She's not using her bank cards. That tells me a lot right there because people don't disappear and leave their husbands without using their monetary resources and without using their phones.
So Jennifer, it seems like it would be difficult, as you say, no cell phone usage, no credit cards. It seems like it would be difficult to do that, especially with 3 young children in tow. Again, we're talking about ages 7, 5, and then 2, but it is not out of the realm of possibility. Is it possible that maybe Lauren left her husband and doesn't want to be found?
That could be a possibility, but
I don't think it's possible in this case. Certainly they're going to be checking it out. But if you look at the fact that NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they have already issued that these individuals are missing. Why? Because they've conducted their own investigation, which has shown that they're not in school, that there's been no sign or trace of them. That tells me the facts are leaning toward they haven't been taken of their free will.
This case sounds serious, bro. Insane, bro. Insane. Like I said, guys, at the end of these clips, man, that we watch, man, like I said, it's always up to you guys to decide, is it fake, or is it reality? Like I said, guys, in order for our community to grow, I need you guys to subscribe, hit that like button, man. Like I said, I bring you guys longer videos, which I know is what you guys want, so I'm gonna keep going, man. Like I said, hopefully, man, we can grow, we can expand. That's the goal. You guys can catch you in the next ones. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.